It's showdown time here at Wilton Mill, the final race of the Road to MotoGP in the British Minibike Junior Classes 2024. We've already had so many fantastic battles this weekend. They will conclude in each of the 5 classes in our programme, starting with the Ovales, the Mini GP 110. Sebastian Gosnavsky on pole position from Mason Federick, and the new champion Max Robinson in 3rd. Leo Soliu and Caden Herring ahead of Kian Daly, who's actually come about very strongly in this last race of the year. Leon Simpson, Mason Hams and Ella Musgrove in front of Jasper O'Neill-White and Austin Wilton. So it's the Mini GP 110 class for the Ovales, aged 10 to 14, these riders. Let's go straight to battle. And already Max Robinson trying to take on Mason Federick, but the leader is Sebastian Gosnavsky. No problem at all as they run through Oblivion and Crook, along Manuel's Bank, up Fine Lady, and up to Christmas Corner. And it's that battle once again between Gosnavsky and Mason Federick. It's already been 2-1 as far as the battle is concerned, Federick versus Gosnavsky. And the priority now for Mason Federick is to try and seal 3rd position in the championship. Gosnavsky's already confirmed in 2nd. Robinson is already the champion. Federick wants to be the 3rd man in this top 3, confirmed.
Drone altitude 117 feet today. That's what we're looking at as we look down upon them going down the inside straight into the boot. The 64 bike is out Gosnavsky, followed by Mason Federick on the 50.
Max Robinson, their 3rd position. Absolute relaxation zone for him. Won the championship in this 2nd race yesterday. So he's just out there having a laugh, and it must be such a wonderful position when you know you've got no pressure on your shoulders at all, and you're just out there to have some fun. A young lad from County Antrim. A lot of riders would actually have sat out in this 2 races as well, but it's a very decent reflection of the man Max Robinson. Look, I paid to be here for the 4 races. I want to go racing. I don't care that I've already won the championship. It's fun to ride. I want to go and ride.
Yeah, absolutely, and there's no doubt he should do that this weekend. You've paid for your entry, so even though you won the championship, it's not like in the other classes there's a World Series place on offer and you might injure yourself before you end up going to Spain. There's nothing on offer in this class to go to the Junior World Series, so he may as well ride. He's entered, he may as well carry on.
There is Leon Simpson battling with Caden Herring for the top 5. Leo Soliu, let's give a bit of a shout out to him because he's currently in 4th position, staying with these 3 a lot more concisely than he has done in previous races. So he's actually sticking with them. Okay, he's losing about 5 to 6 tenths of a second per lap, but the young lad from Bourne is actually doing a fair job to keep up with him. Here's Federick making his bid for the inside, as he has done several times this weekend already, and Mason Federick gets through into the lead.
Great shot there off the drone of Christmas Corner as he just pops up under the drone and gets the job done.
And there's a welcome spectator here this weekend, the sunshine. It's been under overcast grey clouds with high pressure and high humidity all weekend long. It's nice to see the sunshine out here at Wilton Mill for a change, and that will change the way that the circuit behaves.
Yeah, absolutely, there's no doubt. It was overcast most of the day yesterday, still very warm, but overcast, but today sunshine is out.
And that means that the more damp patches of the circuit that we had yesterday are not going to be quite so prominent. So riders can really start to open up the taps of the bike a little bit more. So Federick, Gosnavsky, Robinson, going to come through together. Leo Soliu just doing his best to stay with them, losing about 8 tenths of a second or so per lap. Gosnavsky's going to try and make the bid here to take back the lead from Mason Federick, and does so in a Christmas. No worries at all there for Gosnavsky. Federick leaves him enough space. Robinson just watches it happen.
New race leader is the 64 bike of Gosnavsky, but this is going to be an interesting race. Federick won both races yesterday, but it was Gosnavsky, I think, that took the race win earlier today. So Federick will want to end the season on a high and make sure that the bookmakers have him as favourite to win this championship next year.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Max Robinson, with Sebastian Gosnavsky moving forward into 2025. We'll be watching both their progresses with interest. But obviously Mason Federick definitely looking like a championship candidate next year, the way he's currently on form. Not sure where we're going to see Robinson and Gosnavsky in 2025, but almost certainly both riders would be looking to move up. Federick is one of the newer faces in the Ovale 110 category. Here he comes again on the inside line, and just a lap after he lost the lead, he's going to get it straight back again. Excellent work from Mason Federick. He is absolutely alive in this one, and now Robinson is just again hunting down these two occupants, and he just feels, well, I don't really need to go for a move, essentially. I can just let them squabble amongst themselves. The gap will open up organically. Yeah,
but 2024 champion is not going to sit there and just accept third place in this one. I think give him half a chance. He's going to go for it, Max Robinson. He's going to want to try and end his season on a high too.
He's just keeping it nice and comfortable behind them. He's certainly not letting them pull clear, as Leon Simpson is battling away with Caden Herring. Those two have been pretty much locked together all weekend long. Little bit of a trip up there for Gazlowski out of the final hairpin, and that might have been enough for Max Robinson to go for it. He certainly had to think about it into crook, didn't he? Through oblivion, and he's had to back out of it again, but now he's got a great run. This could be the chance. They could both be getting on terms with Mason Frederick. And that comes back to what you were talking about earlier in one of the previous programs, I think it was, when we were talking about yesterday's races. The top speed differentiation between here and Three Sisters. Three Sisters, they were nudging 75. Here, they're only able to get up to about 55, and Robinson's going to make his bid. Now he gets through on the inside into Wilkins, and that puts him into second position ahead of Seb Gazlowski.
Yeah, and he's not finished there either. Max Robinson's going to go for the win here, no doubt about it. He's looking pretty tasty. He's been tasty all season in this one. The fastest lap is now held by Gazlowski, but he's now down to third place. Frederick, Robinson, Gazlowski, but for how long? I think Robinson's going to make the move sometime soon. Here they come. They've got a back marker in play as well. Max Robinson will want to take advantage of that if he can. There's Leo Soliu.
Well, we saw in the inset, Simpson and Herring are still dueling away over fifth position as well, so that could go either way. Gazlowski's going to dive back in on the inside of Robinson. Not going to happen. Now, this is going to be critical how they deal with this situation, because that is Austin Wilton. He's got to stay to his racing line. Does he know that all three of them are going to come through? That was about as close as it gets with a back marker. And again, nothing wrong with what Austin Wilton did there. You're a rider, you've got to stick to the racing line, you've got to stay predictable. The onus is on the riders who are lapping you to get past you, whether that's on the inside or the outside, it's irrelevant. It's up to the leaders to do the hard work. They are the ones who've got to move offline.
Absolutely, and Austin Wilton, of course, a lot less experience than these riders out front, and that's why he's getting lapped. He doesn't have any club championship that he can go and race in and then move up to the Nationals. He's got to come to the Nationals and put it all on the line with the TV cameras out as well. So if you are a fan or a friend of Austin Wilton, he is not as experienced as everyone else, certainly not these three out front, and that is why you're seeing him getting lapped today. But he might be getting lapped today. Watch him in a year's time.
Yeah, he'll be winning races in a year from now. You watch. That's the way that the development arc usually tends to go in British mini bikes, and it's worth pointing out, of course, that that's what makes these races so tough, because they've obviously got to go through the cutthroat world. Now we're going through the back markers. Frederick deals with it nicely. So does Robinson. Gazlowski gets caught. So that's a bit of an awkward moment for Sebastian Gazlowski, but now they can have it again as they go past Jasper O'Neill-White. Similar story. Well, one of them's made it through. That's Frederick. Robinson's got to wait. He's got to pick his moment. So he's not quite going to get the same purchase in terms of pace, and that's going to back him into the path of Sebastian Gazlowski once again. This is perfect for Frederick.
Yeah, and that was the worst place to come across a back marker. You see how much time he lost, and indeed Gazlowski lost too. So now we've got equidistant between first and second and third.
And that means that it could be nice and simple for Frederick to finish off the job, and that would put him third in the championship standings as we conclude proceedings here. But Frederick does not want to take anything for granted here, and he knows well that the man behind him on the 99 bike is the new champion. Max Robinson just wanting to finish things off with a victory if he can, but obviously Frederick wants the same thing.
Now look at the pace Robinson's got. He was a good 15-20 bike lengths behind. Now all of a sudden he's 0 bike lengths behind. He's right on him already. That's the sort of pace we know he's got, and he will now know that in just less than one lap. He's caught him from 15 bike lengths behind. He's right on him now, and he'll know by the time they come to Christmas corner, if not sooner. Oh, he had a look up the inside in turn one at Crook through oblivion, the right-hander. Fine Lady is the next little curb, the little red and white curb, and here comes Robinson down the inside.
And here comes Gazlowski. Oh, Robinson had to hold himself up there for Frederick and get on the brakes a little early. That was all the invitation that Gazlowski needed to nip by in a second position instead. So Robinson going for the lead, ending up holding himself up there behind Frederick's bike, and he gets into third position because that's Gazlowski through. Robinson desperate to get him back.
And Gaslowski was, well, if Robertson was 15 bike lengths behind, Gaslowski was 30 bike lengths behind. He'll know I've come back from 30 bike lengths and will have the lead on this lap.
Are there exciting races after a championship has been decided? Of course there are. This is the British Minibikes Championship, and in the Avali 110 category, which is quickly becoming my favourite class for banter and badinage in the British Minibikes paddock. It is great racing. Last lap then. And is there one more roll of the dice for Gaslowski? This certainly looks like there might be. Federic a little bit hesitant. They're going to go 3 wide down to Christmas and round the outside. Robinson thought he had Federic. Federic diving back on the inside of Gaslowski, who takes the lead. Magnificent. 3 riders locked together, centimetres apart of the braking zone. They could easily have all gone down together, but Gaslowski holds his nerve. Federic has to give best, and Robinson lets it play out there in 3rd position. Gaslowski in front of Federic and Max Robinson. Now they work their way out of Osiers along the back stretch. Is there going to be one final chance? I'm not sure they've got any more space to play with. Federic is doing everything he can to close back up on Gaslowski, but fair play to Sebastian. He really read the race perfect, made the move when it counted at Christmas. He takes the checkered flag. What a way to end the Avali 110s. Robinson bangs his handlebars in frustration. You're already the champion, but that's how badly he wanted to win. Gaslowski, Federic, Robinson, your top 3 in brilliant style. Soliu in 4th, ahead of Caden Herring, and Leon Simpson just a couple of seconds ahead of Mason Hams from O'Neill White, Ella Mosgrove and Austin Wilton. Robinson is your champion, Gaslowski your runner-up, Mason Federic does make it to 3rd. More great racing coming up. Back into the action here at Wilton Mill. Next up is the Mini-Moto rookies, but we are on a restart because originally this happened on the first attempt. Freddie Taylor had a nasty high side, the worst kind of high side you could ever have in a Mini-Moto rookie. Through Crook and Oblivion, and off he goes. Freddie Taylor thrown from his bike in the most ferocious manner. Fortunately, he's been taken to the medical centre. He has been given the all clear, but naturally he will not take the restart. It's a fresh regrid, so Emilio Pereira on pole position from Tommy Williams and Nelly Newth. The absent Freddie Taylor will then have Finley Stiles and Joey Atherzic behind. Randy Carter, Austin Dilks, James Dermott, Logan Paisley and Sticky Bun himself, Charlie Bunn. So there'll be 10 riders rather than 11, thanks to the absence of Freddie Taylor, but thank goodness he's okay. We're on board on the helmet cam with James Dermott as he charges his way through, has already made a place. And as we head through Crook and Oblivion for the first time, it's Tommy Williams out in front. Obviously not feeling particularly happy about being beaten for the first time all season in the last race by Emilio Pereira. And you'll notice that Emilio Pereira is also conspicuous by his absence. Now that he's won the championship, he's decided to let everybody else play for the victory.
Yeah, good to see Nelly Newth back after her crash earlier in the day. She looked like a bit of a drunk skunk the way she was stumbling around. Fortunately, nearly stumbled into another bike. It shook her up obviously, but she's dusted herself off. And she's back on the bike now racing, and they're in 3rd place.
Yeah, a big fall like that can really take it out of it. It was a proper wind out of the sails moment for Nelly Newth, but well done for her to get back into the race. And she is battling for the win with Tommy Williams and Finley Stiles. We're on board with James Dermott. That is Austin Dilks and Randy Carter, I think, in front of us. Dilks looking a little bit quicker now, thank goodness. It looks as though they've finally got a setup that will give Austin Dilks a chance for a decent finish. He's in P4. It's actually Joey Atherzic in front of us. Randy Carter's behind us then. So James Dermott, P6 in front of Carter. Sticky Bun and Logan Paisley. Right, out in front. Look at the lead that Tommy Williams has built on this second lap. Obviously knowing that he couldn't keep the absolute unbeaten run all the way through the season because Emilio Pereira took the win off him last time. But now that Emilio Pereira is absent, Tommy Williams wants to make sure he dominates. James Dermott back on board, and that is Joey Atherzic in front of us through Ashby. Just a little bit cautious there from James Dermott. It sounded like he was about to fall off the bike, but he manages to get it circulated round on the radius, no problem. But look up in front, Joey Atherzic swarming around all over Austin Dilks. This could be a battle that goes all the way to the finish line, and it's great to see a few more of the riders in Mini-Moto rookies fighting away. Okay, it's not great that Freddie Taylor's not able to restart, and perhaps it's a shame that Emilio Pereira is absent, but all it means is that we get new faces to fighting for that final rung of the podium.
Nellie Newth goes through the line. She set the fastest lap last time. Tommy Williams has just set the fastest lap now. But good to see Nellie back at it. In behind her is Finley Stiles, another major competitor this season, who once again next year you have to think could be a player for the championship. Nellie Newth definitely will be. If she does every round next season, she would, according to the bookmakers, if they were making a book, be the championship favourite next year, no doubt about that.
Well, it's definitely going to be fascinating to see what the likes of Austin Dilks, Nellie Newth, Emilia Pereira, Tommy Williams, what they move on to next year if they stay in this class. Joey Adasic could be one to watch out for as well next year as well. The Yorkshireman, definitely opportunity knocking for these riders. And the thing is, the more you get out there, the more you race, the more you ride, the faster you get, the more confident you become. So these guys are still not even halfway through their trajectory. They are still within the first quarter, really, of their proper racing pedigree. There's so much more skill to come from these guys. It's wonderful to watch them evolve.
On board here with James Dermott in 6th place. It's a battle for 4th in front. And as you say, Jake, before, good to see Austin Dilks back on it. So Dad's been busy on the spanners and finally giving him a bike that's worthy of his talent.
4th position in front of Joey Adasic and James Dermott. Randy Carter's staying close to him, and fair play to Charlie Bunn. He's keeping in the mix as well. 4th position down to 8th. This could be the race of the race, as it were. You're certainly going to get to see an awful lot of great riders here of the future battling. Very different lines that Austin Dilks and Joey Adasic take. Nothing wrong or right. I mean, how many versions of the racetrack can you run? It's about who's more comfortable. Austin Dilks trying to stay on it there from Joey Adasic.
That was a classic example of it, actually. Austin Dilks went narrow, and then that gave Adasic the opportunity. He took a different line going into the right-hander there, and at the end of the day, they've all come out where they were, as Charlie Bunn takes an unusual line through the hairpin.
Yeah, my best mate always used to say growing up, how many ways can you make a cottage pie? As long as they all taste good, it doesn't really matter what the recipe is. And that's very much the case for Austin Dilks and Joey Adasic. Come off the final turn and down the main straight. Looking good, Joey Adasic all over the back of Austin Dilks. Left, right through Crook and Oblivion, trying to get a decent run off the turn out of Manuel's Bank and up Fine Lady. We could see a really intriguing battle side by side. Adasic trying to go left side of Austin Dilks. Can he make it work? Well, he has to roll on the brakes. He can't really afford to keep the pace trajectory all the way through that far side. So Tommy Williams there in the lead. Nellie Newth in 2nd place. Finley Stiles dropping back a bit in 3rd position, but still staying very much in pursuit of 3rd place. But for Austin Dilks, Joey Adasic and James Dermott, anything could still happen between those three in their fight for 4th position. Into Osiers, and Joey Adasic definitely swarming around behind Austin Dilks. The top 3, by the way, the reason you're not seeing them is because they're pretty much in no man's land. They're having their own independent race, and it's almost like a qualifying session for those 3. These 3, however, very much on it. Dermott trying to have a think about Adasic, while Adasic has the same thought about Austin Dilks.
Yeah, good action we're seeing. Good coverage from the onboard camera. We've not had an in-game helmet camera before as he goes up the inside and takes 5th place. So James Dermott up to 5th, and we're covering these 3 riders from the drone.
Yeah, Adasic was so focused on the move on Austin Dilks, he then had to back out of it at the final turn. That was enough for James Dermott to storm past, and now Dermott has a chance at Austin Dilks. We go back on board with him. This is James Dermott's helmet cam. Through the left, through the right at Inkermans, making the approach to the braking zone at Ashby, and it's the confidence that the overtake on Adasic gave him that will almost certainly give him that fiery mentality to go back after Austin Dilks. I've got one, I can go and get another now. So Austin Dilks through the left at Wilkins. Little application of throttle, back down on the brakes again through Osiers. It's all about patience, it's all about timing. And look at the way that James Dermott's been able to come off the turn better than Austin Dilks. He's going to get alongside him. Surely he can't run all the way round the outside. He can! Oh my goodness, that is one of the overtakes of the weekend. It's one thing to get the move into the left-hander, into the boot, but to do it from the outside line. James Dermott, take a bow. That is absolutely one of the overtakes of the weekend.
Into the last lap as well. We're on board with Dermott. That's a great move. And again, in the last race, effectively, of the season in the main championship, we've still got a GP plate coming up at the end of the season, by the way. That's going to give him good momentum moving forward for next season.
No, they've come together on the last lap. Oh, Dermott and Dilks go down together, and neither of them can finish, of course, because they can't pick the bikes up again. Oh, big drama on the final lap as Tommy Williams comes through for the finish. Here's the reaction from James Dermott. But Tommy Williams, he is absolutely flawless in this one, goes well clear. Here's a replay on board from James Dermott in real time. Down on the inside, here comes Dilks. You can even see the reflection on the visor of him coming. But unfortunately, both men out of it. Tommy Williams wins from Nelly Newth and Finley Styles. Joey Adazich picks up the pieces in fourth from Randy Carter. Charlie Bunn up 5 places in the end ahead of James Dermott. So we had retirements then from Dilks, from Paisley, and of course also from Freddie Taylor and Emilio Pereira, who didn't start. But he is the champion by 20 points ahead of Nelly Newth, 5 more ahead of Finley Styles. Well, thanks to Blake Wilson winning the championship in the earlier FIA MiniGP UK 190 race, his place on the grid will be left absent. It'll be bragging rights between Marco Holt and Henry McCartney. Jenson Bishop, Arnie Carr, Annabelle McCarthy, and the last man in, Sid Marshall, will battle for the last race win of the season. So here we go. And Marco Holt versus Henry McCartney is already fever pitch as they run through Crook and Oblivion for the first time. Marco Holt has taken it from McCartney, but McCartney's coming straight back at him, even with the absence of Blake Wilson. There's still going to be a great war as McCartney dives in on Marco Holt. So Marco Holt is through to second position then, but Henry McCartney has shown him a clean pair of wheels in this first part of the lap. For Jenson Bishop versus Arnie Carr, this is going to be the battle for the podium finish and the final trophy of this MiniGP UK 190 season in the second race of today.
Yeah, 3 riders in this class going to the World Series, World Championships, if you prefer. I like to call them the World Championships, but the official title is the FEM Junior World Series, and that will be Blake Wilson, who's not taking part here, and the 2 riders out front, Henry McCartney and Marco Holt. All 3 will be going. Let's hope none of them have a bad crash in this one and injure themselves before they get there.
See, this is bragging rights, and Marco Holt is going to dive up the inside of McCartney and take back the lead. This is the best advert these 2 riders could possibly be giving to the world stage. This is what we're about. We will race wheel to wheel, tooth and nail, every lap of every race, and we will give it 110%. Absolutely amazing. Henry McCartney bouncing back on Marco Holt, and these 2 are going to keep the battle flowing all the way to the death. Jenson Bishop, by the way, is trying to stay with them. It's not over yet. These guys have been entertaining us royally all the way throughout 2024. Both of them have had their blips and their errors. Blake Wilson sat on the sidelines watching for a change now that he's the champion. But it's great to watch Marco Holt versus Henry McCartney in a straight fight. McCartney, of course, fell dramatically earlier this season at Three Sisters in Wigan. Marco Holt has been all guns blazing and has fallen twice, once at Rowborough and once earlier today, to get himself out of this championship fight. But that doesn't mean you won't see him bring his A game in the final race of the season. This is what they're going to be like for the next few years, these 2, along with Blake Wilson. Marco Holt and Henry McCartney, they're just going to give as good as they get every time they come to play.
Yeah, in 1 or 2 years you'll see both of these riders, I am absolutely sure, in the British Talent Cup. That will be their first step into the world of professional motorcycle racing. First opportunities on, well, it won't be the first time on big circuits because we've been to Pembrey ourselves this year, but that'll be the real start of their careers racing motorcycles, and hopefully they'll move into the main BSB Championship and then MotoGP.
I mean, imagine what these guys are going to be like when they're knocking elbows in Moto 3 and Moto 2. It's going to be so cool watching these guys duke it out. Out of the braking zone for Oziers, tight to the radius, back on the power, up towards the boot, and it looks as though McCartney's got a good run. Not quite close enough to slam dunk it up the inside of Marco Holt just yet, but you really do sense that he doesn't want to end the season second best to Marco Holt. Jenson Bishop still third from Carr, Annabelle McCarthy and Sid Marshall. There may not be many bikes out there, but we've definitely got quality over quantity. Even with Blake Wilson sat out on the sidelines absent, the racing has been magnificent all year long. And we've always said it in motorsport, all you need is 2 good racers to make a great contest. And these are 2 phenomenal racers. Up the inside of Annabelle McCarthy to put the lap on her. But Marco Holt versus Henry McCartney, there's only one word to describe it. It's irresistible.
Fantastic. Down to Osiers one more time, then out of Osiers here, left and then right onto the inside back straight into the boot. That's the ankle, the left-hander, the right-hander there, that's the toe. If you see this from above, you'll know why it's called a boot, and this is the new platform heel, effectively the Chelsea boot. You can see it from that shot, that's why it's called the boot.
You were just watching Arnie Carr on the inset there. A very unfortunate weekend for Arnie Carr. Could have won in the 160-50 category, of course, this weekend, but handed the title to Tyler Humphries with a pair of mechanical failures yesterday. That was how Humphries got the job done in 160-50. Very neat and tidy there. But this is the battle on the last lap of the Mini GP UK 190 season 2024. Very close indeed. Marco Holt, the man named after the late great legend Marco Simoncelli, carries his number as well, the legendary 58. Henry McCartney swarming around all over the back of him though. He'll give as good as he's got. And these two riders really well take it to the ragged edge. Why not? Let's just see, can we pull off one final track? McCartney on the inside! No way is he going to pull that off! Oh my goodness! Full credit to him for giving it a go though. Marco Holt takes it. McCartney second. Can you believe he would even try it on that last lap?
Wow, that was absolutely unbelievable. Great attempt. He never got the job done, but what a finish.
That kind of tells you the riders we have got coming through the British racing ranks. Marco Holt and Henry McCartney leave nothing on the table. Jensen Bishop third in front of Arnie Carr, Annabelle McCarthy and Sid Marshall come through to finish the race. Your champion, of course, is Blake Wilson. He sat out the last race of the year, but oh my goodness, these three riders are going all the way to the big show. Right, let's continue on with more great race action from the FIM Mini GP UK 160 race. Tyler Humphries has already been declared as the champion. Frankie Watson, therefore, on his own at the front, with Wilson Dilks, Hudson Cooper, Dan Stevenson and Josh Herring having a nice battle at the sharp end. Lucas King, Ollie O'Gorman, Ollie Evitts, and then Chloe Gleeson back for more. Harry Rafferty and Leo Hams in 11th and 12th. And then we've got a handful of riders behind them as well. William Round there in 13th. Max Robinson, I don't think will take the start as he was entered, but was too busy focused on his own championship campaign. Hudson Cooper, yet again, like a bullet out of a gun off the line, just charges his way forward into the lead. The absence of Tyler Humphries clearly giving him plenty of momentum as William Round with more mechanical problems, unfortunately, on the start-finish line. But when there's no Tyler Humphries, Hudson Cooper is straight out of the blocks like a jackrabbit. While the cat's away, the mice will come out and play.
He officially must be the fastest starter in any class in this championship. He is ballistic, Hudson Cooper. He's got to keep it going now though. He's out front. Can he stay there?
I wonder if he's got a set of blaze pods screwed to the wall at home, because his reaction times are absolutely monstrous. Right, Hudson Cooper now under big pressure. No surprises from Wilson Dilks. Now, Will Round did have a problem at the start, but he has got going again. Full credit. Never give up. Never say die. You never know what's coming. So, Hudson Cooper is your leader. Wilson Dilks second. Frankie Watson third. Then it's Dan Stevenson in front of Josh Herring. Ollie O'Gorman doing well to go up to P6 in front of Lucas King, Chloe Gleeson, Leo Hams, and then Harry Rafferty ahead of Ollie Evitts and, of course, William Round, who we saw up the inside, though. Wilson Dilks has taken the lead away from Hudson Cooper into Christmas on the second lap. So Wilson Dilks is not going to hang around anytime soon. He's back in front.
Yeah, well, we were on board there with Hudson Cooper. I was thinking, what's coming up the inside here? Well, you know what's coming up the inside. It was going to be a Wilson Dilks shaped bike and rider, and indeed it was. And Dilks has got the lead. Can he clear off? He's certainly got the quality to do exactly that.
Good move there from Chloe Gleeson. I'm not sure if she finished that to try and get up the inside of Lucas King, but certainly Chloe Gleeson was up for the battle. Now, this is how tight it is in the Mini GP UK 160 points battle. Tyler Humphries, of course, is confirmed as the champion. If Wilson Dilks stays where he is, he's only going to be 16 points away from Tyler Humphries' score. But it's that battle for third position, the bragging rights, the best of the rest. Frankie Watson wants to hang on to it from Hudson Cooper.
Yeah, now the top two go to the Junior World Series. That's already decided. Imagine though, if it was the top three.
If only
just
it was
imagine.
The top three.
This would be absolute drama here with Frankie Watson currently in third, Hudson Cooper in second. It would be close between them, those we just saw from the live championship points. There's still a podium at the end of the season on offer for whoever finishes in front of the other, but it's not for a World Series place, unfortunately. We'd like to think next year, hopefully the authorities are listening and they'll be adding an extra place for the guys next year.
But let's talk about it from context point of view. Both Hudson Cooper, who we're riding with, and Frankie Watson have had the mother of all seasons when it comes to bad luck. Both of them have had their great races, their great rides, and a load of points taken off them. This is what it means to them, to steal that third position in the championship fight. Frankie Watson dives in on Hudson Cooper. Cooper's going to come straight back at him. See, this is as if there is a place on offer, and look at it. If it ends like this, they're going to be dead level on points. This is how much it means to them. They don't want to tie. They want to be the ipso facto best of the race. This is great riding.
Yeah, I think Hudson Cooper just gets it on count back, but 201 plays 201 as things stand now. Now can Frankie Watson close down? I doubt he can close down Wilson Dilks, because Dilks is so quick in this class, frankly. But if he did close him down, imagine if there was 3 places on offer for the World Series, and it was all about if Frankie Watson can close and pass Wilson Dilks. And by the way, Jake, he's getting away from Hudson Cooper, and he is closing the race leader.
Yeah, new fastest lap. 53.582, so he's definitely doing the homework to close up on Wilson Dilks. Hudson Cooper needs to respond here, and he'll want to pretty early. But it is absolutely fantastic, these guys riding within an inch of their ability. This is fantastic stuff between the 3 riders up front. Dilks knows he's got pressure from Frankie Watson. Hudson Cooper will want to challenge them back as they come out of those years. Down the back straight, up to the boot complex once again. Into the ankle, through the square left. We're watching back between Herring and Stevenson as well. They're having a great end of season battle. It all counts. Every race that you do, you want to beat your opponent. You want to make sure that you come out on top. They always say in racing, you're only ever as good as your last race, and they want to end strong.
Yeah, these midfield battles are very important. This is the battle for 6 we're looking at.
Yeah, full credit to Chloe Gleason.
Exactly,
she's in that mix for 6th position, considering how heavy she went down yesterday.
Yeah.
Her confidence today, that's brilliant. That's so admirable.
The first race earlier today, she was slightly off the pace of the riders around her, O'Gorman and Lucas King. Those 3 are a little triumvirate, aren't they? They're on the same sort of pace this year. It's in the midfield this year, but maybe next year, year after, it could be for race wins.
Right.
But it's a great battle between them, and she's in it today, as you say, Jake, after that bad crash she had.
Right, this is going to get serious any moment now as Dan Stevenson makes his lunge on the inside of Josh Herring, gets into 4th position. But we need to go back to the leaders, because Frankie Watson has taken 0.4 of a second out of Wilson Dilks on the last lap and another 0.2 out of him on this lap. So Watson is absolutely going to be all over Wilson Dilks by the time they get to Christmas. He's going to be charging. Is this going to be the move? Well, no, because Wilson Dilks is very good at placing the bike in the right place.
He's on him, though. He's come from a mile back, and this is for 3rd place in the championship. If Frankie Watson gets past, he's going 3rd in the championship, and he's going to be gutted that there's only 2 places in this class, but 3 in the 190 class. So 2 riders going to the World Series. That's Tyler Humphries and Wilson Dilks. But if it had been 3, this would be for that place.
So Frankie Watson trying to prove a point at the end of the season. I can do this. I can beat Wilson in a straight fight. Dilks versus Watson, the last race of the season in Mini GP UK 160, the FIM category. Okay, Tyler Humphries is on the sidelines watching, knowing he can already put his boots away for another few weeks before they get taken out to the World Series. But Wilson Dilks is going to try and hold off Frankie Watson, who could really do with getting ahead of Wilson Dilks. If he passes him, he'll be 3rd position in the championship. But Wilson Dilks, this is not going to cost him 2nd place if he loses it. So this is absolutely Frankie Watson's best chance. If he can hustle Wilson Dilks and intimidate him, 3rd in the championship will be his.
Yeah, and he will want to do exactly that. He'll want to finish 3rd rather than 4th. It's all to play for. Looking down the inside, but only looking.
It's so tight at this point on the course. You can see as well, we've got a great battle going on between Ollie O'Gorman and Chloe Gleason. They're having a great race of it as well in the final round of the championship. And it's really exciting to see Chloe Gleeson get straight back on it after the difficulties of yesterday. But King, O'Gorman and Gleeson are going to take that fight all the way to the finish if they can. Right, here comes Frankie Watson. Much better run through Crooked Oblivion. Here he goes, diving on the inside of Wilson Dilks. Is that going to be for the lead? Can he finish it? Yes, he can. He picks up another 5 points off Hudson Cooper, and that will secure him in third place. But Dilks is back to the inside, takes him back again. He resets the order, runs wide. Frankie Watson gets him straight back again. That puts him back into third position by 5 points. That's how critical it is for Watson to finish ahead of Dilks today.
Championship points updating live as the positions change.
How many
track.
times did that change? That was like 3 changes in the case of about 15-20 seconds. So amazing from Frankie Watson. Oh, he's lost it, and Wilson Dilks goes with him. They're both out. Hudson Cooper can pass them both and take the victory. Oh, Frankie Watson, the heartbreak of going down at the worst possible moment in the season.
This is the replay from Hudson Cooper, and this is the moment he realises right there.
Oh.
That's his opponent, his competitor for third place in the championship, on his knees.
Red flag, they've stopped it. Well, it's game over in the third place fight for the championship for Frankie Watson. He and Wilson Dilks go down. Neither of them will take the victory then because they cannot restart. That means that when the race did restart, Hudson Cooper was able to cruise to the victory and third position in the championship. Dan Stevenson would only be 0.4 of a second behind him at the flag in the end. Lucas King, Ollie O'Gorman and Chloe Gleeson's battle ended up being for third. Harry Rafferty P6 in front of Leo Hams, Ollie Evitts and William Round in ninth. Devastating for the riders that could no longer finish. Tyler Humphries, the champion from Wilson Dilks, and Hudson Cooper does get confirmed in third ahead of Frankie Watson and Joshua Herring. So into the Mini GP 160/50 class, the last race of the season in these junior categories. Travis Shaw, Frankie Watson and Tyler Humphries ahead of Bradley Curtis, Hudson Cooper and Daniel Stevenson. Tyler Humphries would again decide to play it cool and be absent. Joshua Herring ahead of Arnie Carr and Riley Robinson from Lucas King, Leo Hams and Harry Rafferty. There would be a great final battle, but obviously with the champion not being there, this is the chance for all of those riders who want to finish on a high note to come away with something special. Wingate, Hooper, Bond, Paisley and William Round hoping to do just that. So the green flag at the back of the field, and off we go from Hudson Cooper. Can he be a rocket ship off the line again? Oh, he's so good every single time. Charges through and takes the lead. No worries there. Travis Shaw into second position ahead of Bradley Curtis and Dan Stevenson. And even with the absence of Tyler Humphries, we're in for a riveting showcase. Travis Shaw already trying to get up the inside of Hudson Cooper.
Hudson Cooper at the start is an absolute rocket ship. It's unbelievable. Travis Shaw looking down the inside, but Cooper holds on. We've got onboard cameras with Travis Shaw here, currently in second, and the man out front's got an onboard on as well. But what a starter he is. Nobody in the championship starts like him.
Yeah, demon off the dial for Hudson Cooper. Absolutely amazing. Bradley Curtis trying to get up the inside of Travis Shaw. Talk about getting the boxing gloves out early. Excellent work from Bradley Curtis. He couldn't pull off the move, but now Travis Shaw knows that he's not going to be a pushover in this last race of the year, so he's got to get on with the move on Hudson Cooper. Fourth place for Stevenson, then Arnie Carr, Lucas King, Leo Hams, Riley Robinson, and Archie Hoover and Wingate. There goes the move from Travis Shaw. He gets through past Hudson Cooper.
Yeah, you saw the shadow coming first, so Hudson will have seen the shadow on the track as he comes past him. But that's our other onboard cameraman, Travis Shaw, now leading.
So now he's got to reset himself, reconfigure. He knows that he's not leading the race anymore, so he's obviously got to do the homework here to get back on terms. There's Bradley Curtis, and he fancies his chances in the last race of the year, doesn't he? All the pressure off, nothing left to fight for championship-wise, so let's just go and get it done.
Yeah, we've been talking about riders during the last two rounds, round 5, round 6, that we're looking forward to next year. Mason Frederick, of course, we talked about. He's a rider that's going to be a championship favourite next year. And Bradley Curtis, he's another name that you've got to have on your radar if you're following mini bike racing in the UK.
So there is the battle up front, Travis Shaw and Hudson Cooper having a great race of it out in front of everybody else. Third place for Bradley Curtis, really enjoying himself in good position there as they continue to work forward. Bradley Curtis still putting Travis Shaw and Hudson Cooper under pressure as they continue to ride on. Dan Stevenson is ahead of Arnie Carr. As we we ride back on board with Hudson Cooper. The riders work their way through Wilkins and through Oziers, working their way through. That's Stevenson in 4th, Carr in 5th position, then King. And there is Stevens, that is, we're watching the battle. Now, hang on a minute, that looks like Joshua Herring on what should be the 912 bike. I wonder if he's had a problem with his bike, because look, that's the number 1 that he's riding. I think he's borrowed Tyler Humphrey's bike. I didn't spot that, but he's definitely not on his own bike, is he? Because that's a golden number 1. I think he's borrowed Tyler Humphrey's bike for the last race of the season.
Well, you've got better eyes than me, Jake, as we're looking at Bradley Curtis up the inside for a spot, and Curtis is through. Just as I was talking about Bradley Curtis as somebody we need to keep an eye on moving forward next season. He is clearly going to be a player.
Yeah, he's definitely got the credentials to be a title contender in 2025. Travis Shaw out in front, Bradley Curtis in 2nd, Hudson Cooper in 3rd, Stevenson 4th. Now, if we can look back, and we might see Joshua Herring on that bike, but I'm fairly sure that's not his bike. I think he's had a problem with his bike. Let's have a look back. Here comes Joshua Herring. There it is, the golden number 1. So that is absolutely Tyler Humphrey's bike that he's borrowed for the race. Do you think he nicked it without him looking?
Interesting. We know that a lot of that goes on in the Minibikes paddock. There's a lot of camaraderie. Obviously these guys are very competitive, but they are good friends as well, because in 2-wheel racing, unlike 4, where we see some, I'm not going to say it, but
shenanigans,
we see some personalities, shall we say.
Yeah.
In 2-wheel racing, the riders know you can't be too antsy, because people can get injured when you crash on 2 wheels.
Yeah, the risk is too high, so you may as well look out for each other, because at the end of the day, these guys just want a great race. They want to stretch it. They're not interested in these enemies, these implacable bitternesses, these it just gets in the way of the good racing. That's the problem that these guys want to avoid.
They are, however, can I say, still juniors.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
all
totally.
to come.
Yeah.
That'll come later on.
That's true.
When they're racing professionally.
Yeah, that's true. So Shaw, Curtis and Cooper, then Stevenson. Arnie Carr in 5th position in front of Josh Herring, who has either borrowed or loaned or potentially hoodwinked Tyler Humphrey's bike, depending on which side of the story you're prepared to believe later. But no, it's great to see that if Josh Herring has had a problem, he's at least been able to get into the race. From Tyler Humphrey's point of view, what difference does it make? Because he's already won the championship, doesn't need to race the last race of the year, and if his mate Josh Herring can, well, what a nice gesture.
Yeah, and it's always, I remember my son in karting doing this with somebody. They asked, it was a girl, thought the cart there was a problem with the cart, he got in it, got out and said, that's quicker than mine. So yeah, it's always good to get on somebody else's machinery to see what you're capable of on machinery that you know, for example, in this case, has won races, won a championship.
And from Josh Herring's point of view, of course, it's worth remembering that well, Josh Herring's bike looks exactly the same as Tyler Humphrey's, so it's not like anyone's going to notice. There goes Bradley Curtis, lapping the traffic. 2nd position, trying to close up on Travis Shaw, but he's pulled well clear now of Hudson Cooper, so he's definitely got the pace in this one. So there is your mixture of traffic jam further back. That's the likes of Leo Hams, Isabel Wingate and Harry Rafferty, all having a very good time of it. But there's Travis Shaw in the lead, having a great run there in front of Bradley Curtis, and look back, there is Hudson Cooper. So when they work their way through the traffic, it's all going to be nip and tuck and neat and tidy. But this is a great, oh, somebody's off in the background. So who's that going off? I wonder if that's Riley Paisley, just pulling off the racetrack there on the grass. So that could be game over for Riley, sadly. Again, as we mentioned before, you know, you can't just hide behind the closed doors of the club races and develop your skills. If you want to ride these bikes and you want to be a great racer, you've got to go straight in at British Championship level and hope it sticks.
Yeah, exactly. There's very few. These are karting circuits we're on here today. We have been to Pembury this year, big circuit, where you get motorcycle days and motorcycle practice days. But there's very few practice days at karting circuits, especially places like this. I mean, Wilton Mill, super busy circuit for corporate events and British Championship karting events and other karting championships as well. We do the UK Kart Series here, but so there's very few days where you can even get out and practice on a bike on karting circuits, and there's just no club championship racing.
It means that a lap record on a karting circuit on a British mini bike is quite a prized possession, actually, because you don't get that many days to go out there and ride it. Josh Herring going through on the number 1. He should be on the 912, but we'll let him off. There's Bradley Curtis working his way through the traffic. He's just lapped Thomas Bond, and now he's going to have a proper traffic jam to deal with, because you've got all sorts of riders in the mix here. There is the number 12, that's Archie Hooper, and now here we go. Travis Shaw's in the traffic. He's got Leo Hams to deal with, having already sorted out Harry Rafferty and Isabel Wingate. It's not going to be long before it's Bradley Curtis's turn. This is the real skill of riding in the British Minibikes, of course. How you go through the traffic is the difference between a great rider and a world-class rider.
Yeah, exactly. It's a real part of the tradecraft, isn't it, as you would call it if you're in the CIA, racecraft as we call it. We're into the last lap. We're on board here with Hudson Cooper, going into the last lap for Cooper, and he gets past comfortably onto the last tour at Wilton Mill for the last time this season.
Yeah, he was just lapping Thomas Bond there, I think, and having no problems to do so. Well, what can you say? It's been one heck of a season in the British Minibikes Championship, the road to MotoGP. I think 2024 really has given us a proper peak in the arc of the development of these riders. I can't wait for 2025. Every year it just keeps getting bigger and better. The racing gets more and more addictive, and we've had so many classics this year. Now we're going to get to see Travis Shaw bring it home for the last lap of the last race of this 2024 season in the junior categories. The British Minibikes, of course, will take the pit bikes and a couple of the other categories to Red Lodge for the GP plate. But Travis Shaw ends the Mini GP 160-50 campaign as the winner. Bradley Curtis in a stunning second place. Hudson Cooper frustrated down in third. So behind our top 3 men, Shaw, Curtis and Cooper, Dan Stevenson coming home in 4th place ahead of the hard-charging Arnie Carr. Josh Herring in 6th position on Tyler Humphrey's bike. Lucas King, Riley Robinson, Archie Hooper and Leo Hams just pipping Isabel Wingate for the final place in the top 10. Championship-wise, it's been Tyler Humphrey's one-way traffic, but Arnie Carr edges out Travis Shaw for second by just 3 points. So that's it for the junior classes in the road to MotoGP 2024. Great action, but the British Minibikes paddock will be back at Red Lodge later this season when the GP plate will give us more great entertainment in October. We'll see you then, but from Jake Sanson and Alan Tadei here at Wilton Mill, what an epic year it's been on the road to MotoGP.